It's Luke Howard Live! Hey! Woo! 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 Thank you so much, thank you. Hiya, hello, welcome to the show today. It's Wednesday the 24th of February, halfway through the week already. Blimey, where's the time gone as always? It goes quick every single week on Britain's brightest, best radio show. Hope everyone's well, it's 12:30, and I hope everyone's having a great day so far. Hope your days are going very well, and yes, hope everyone's having a great day. My name's Luke Howard, and I present Luke Howard Live, Monday to Thursday, 12:30 to 1:15, and then next week, and then the week after, by the way, on the week of the 8th, it's going to be back to Saturdays, and then Michael's going to be presenting on Sundays. He's presenting on Fridays at this very moment. So, yes, so there you go. So that's all the details and all the news of Britain's brightest, best radio show, and here's how you can get in touch with the show. You can email the show. It is GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com. You can also email me, which is 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also get in touch with Michael. His emails are 34477@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also find my show on Instagram, the Luke Howard fan page, and his other email is mdwalker2002@icloud.com. You can also use hashtags, which is hashtag Luke Howard, hashtag Luke Howard Live, hashtag Michael Walker, and hashtag Michael Walker Live as well. Great ways to get in touch with the show. Now, coming up on the show, we are going to be talking about, summer schools. Yes, apparently there might not be a summer this very year, of course, due to COVID. So we'll cover that, I think, on the show and see how we go. Okay, it's also going to be Let Go Reading and Leeds. They've been tweeting raises at music festivals. They're talking music festivals, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And okay, we're also talking New Zealand on the show as well. There's been rescuers. They've saved 28 whales from stranding spots. Well, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Oh, we're also going to cover the national days, the usual stuff on Britain's brightest, best radio show. And that's everything you need to know about the show today. Okay, so let's talk about what's in the news then, as what we always do. So let's kickstart then by talking about summer schools. Let's get straight into the news right now and talk about summer schools, because they're actually saying that schools could be open throughout the summer, apparently. So we'll get to that now, because secondary schools in our country have all been asked to consider delivering face-to-face summer schools as part of efforts, apparently, to help people catch up. Now, an extra 520 million is been funded and has been announced, along with 300 million announced for a catch-up project from January just gone, 2 months ago. Oh, actually a month ago. Boris Johnson has said the money is going to be helping ensure no child is left behind due to this very big pandemic. Now, teachers, experts and unions have all called the money a good start, but it's all warned about overwhelming pupils and teachers as well. Now, Boris also has confirmed that all pupils are going to be returning on the 8th of March. Well, isn't that great? Here, round of applause. Because they finally said that everyone's going to be going back on that very day. And you could also meet on a park bench as well from the 8th of March. Doesn't really matter to me because I've done it all the time anyway. But as part of the first step of a roadmap. That's what it is for easing England's lockdown. Now, secondary schools pupils have all been asked to take 3 COVID-19 tests in schools when they go back, which is in 2 weeks' time. It's also going to be likely that secondary schools are all going to be having to stagger to the return over a few days as well. Now, national restrictions since last March have led many pupils, I can't believe, so we started it in last March and now we're going to slowly start finishing it in this March this year. Pupils have lost around half a school year in face-to-face learning, and as part of the latest announcements, schools will have the option to run summer classes for pupils who need it most, and potentially starting with those who will be moving up to year 7 at secondary schools in September this very year. The government has also said that it's all going to be up to schools to decide how and if they can run summer schools and how long they will be, and which pupils will be invited to attend as well. The Education Secretary, as I said, Gavin Williamson, he did say that they're all going to be giving schools the option to be able to draw down on this very big funding. He also said that the average primary schools are also going to receive around $6,000 in extra money, with the average secondary school getting around $22,000 extra in recovery premium payments. Now, speaking on the news programme, he said that it was up to head teachers to decide how they use the money, and it could also be used, for example, maybe to pay teachers for overtime to do extra teaching maybe as well. I bet they'd love that, I bet. But last year, Mr Johnson, he announced a $1 billion catch-up fund for England and later appointed Sir Kevin Collins as Education Recovery Commissioner. And Scotland, the administration has all promised £140 million in funding to help disadvantaged pupils, and tens of millions of pounds have also been put into catch-up schemes in Wales and Northern Ireland as well. Now, Gavin Williamson, he also said that the policy of secondary schools in pupils in England having to wear masks in classrooms would actually be reviewed over Easter, which is not very far really, and most pupils will all have to wear face coverings indoors, including in classrooms where social distancing isn't actually possible. And when they were talking on the news actually the other day, that I actually saw, I mean, they're actually saying that you'll have to wear a mask forever and ever and ever, but I hope not. I hope there is going to be a time when we're not going to be doing all this. But Boris did say that we can all say goodbye to all this stuff, hopefully by the summer of this very year. But he did not rule out that the policy could remain in place until the 21st of June, which is this year, now, which is the final date in plans to ease this very lockdown. The government's £720 million education support package for England includes, though, a one-off £302 million recovery premium for state primary and secondary schools. They're all going to be boosting summer schooling clubs and activities as well, and £200 million is to fund face-to-face secondary summer schools while teachers will change of declaring with pupils' benefits. An unexpected national tutorial programme for primary and secondary pupils had actually extended tutorials and fun for 16 and 19-year-olds, also worth £200 million as well. The £18 million were all funding to support early years language and the development as well. Okay, we'll leave that one there, I think. Let's leave that story there. Oh, wait a minute, or should we carry on? I've just heard the government has considered a variety of options of pupils, including extended school days and shorter summer holidays. But there is going to be a summer holiday and summer holidays, is there? Okay, well, that's what they've said. But I've got a video here. Let's listen about the kids, about children.
When it comes to diseases like flu, children are known as
super spreaders.
But that doesn't appear to be the case with coronavirus. Children usually top the list of disease spreaders because they like to touch things and they don't wash their hands very often and spend a lot of time really close to other people. Have you been touching lots of things today?
Yeah.
Now your hands are in your mouth?
Yeah.
Yes, children can catch COVID-19, but the scientific evidence shows that children and young people are less likely to get seriously ill with COVID than adults. There is some evidence which suggests teenagers in secondary school are more likely to become ill with COVID than primary school children, but again, the numbers are very small. And it's not yet clear how exactly new variants affect children, but scientists are working on this. But what about spreading COVID-19? Well, the data suggests children are no more likely to do that than adults. There's been some suggestion they actually spread COVID less than adults, and that primary-age kids are less likely to spread the virus than those in secondary school. We don't have a lot of data when it comes to COVID in children, which is an issue because it's really important when it comes to deciding whether schools should be open or not. But there's no evidence that schools are the main drivers when it comes to COVID. What happens outside of schools in the community is a much bigger problem.
Well, if you're 19 years old like me and you're listening right now and you wash your hands 24/7, then you should be all right. But if you're as old as them, then yeah, they're right with exactly what they're saying there, to be honest with you. I think they're absolutely right, but I actually try to keep myself clean as much as I can, but they're actually saying what she just said was actually quite true, if you ask me. But alongside the newly announced programme, online resources are all going to be continuing over the summer through Oak National Academy, apparently is what it's called. But exams this very year have already been cancelled in England, but Gavin Williamson has said more details on how grades can be calculated. It's all coming in the next few days, apparently. So that sounds very, very interesting. But apparently children, mother of three, Emily Elbius, as example, she said that her children are jaded by online learning and are ready to go back to school, but she also said that it would be hard to get them motivated for more school over the summer, and they're all looking forward to the summer holidays and having a proper break. Now, she also said that ultimately children just want to get to school and normal life. They're all quite keen to go back, and they're all looking forward to seeing their friends, and they want that normal reality as well. Father of two, Nick Lee, he said that children and teachers need a proper summer break. Really? They've just been having all this, what's been going on right now? That's really got to be bad. But children have also suffered enough with this pandemic, and they all will not attend any summer camps. I don't actually think that's true, if you ask me, but if I look at that, I don't think that's true. The teachers have had loads of time off, to be honest with you, but they have all struggled to cope in these hard times, and stealing any children's summer is not going to be the way to go, apparently. So, but Sarah Webb, she has the children, she has 3 children, aged 11, 8 and 5, and she said children need time to recover from the past year rather than more academic pressure. Now, these children have lived through a challenging year and adapted as best they can, she said, and many have learnt new skills and that are not recognised or celebrated at school, but are just as important on growing up and developing one's character, helping at home, perseverance and self-motivation as well. Now, Kate Green, Labour Shadow Education Secretary, she said that the new funding will not make up for the learning and time with friends that children have lost. I mean, honestly, I've been going everywhere. I've been funny. Wherever I go, I always see kids hanging out and about. I see it all the time, to be honest with you. And I just think to myself, really? Just gets to me. But anyway, I have thoroughly now got the rules of what is actually going to be happening in schools from the 8th of March. So all pupils in all years can return to schools and colleges from the 8th of March, and they're going to be doing twice weekly tests for secondary schools and college pupils entirely on site and then at home as well, apparently. And staff are also going to be tested regularly as well. Face coverings are all going to be worn in secondary schools indoors, including classrooms, unless 2 metres social distancing is possible. And face coverings are also going to be recommended in early years, and primary schools for staff and adult visitors where all where social distancing between adults is not possible. After school clubs and children's sport activities can also resume as well. So that's great. So lots of great things to happen that are going to be happening from the 8th of March. So we're looking forward. As the school leaders unions have been welcomed the funding but warned of a long road ahead. And Paul Whiteman, General Secretary of NAHT, which presents head teachers, has said summer schools will all be the value of some pupils, but it will also be important for not to be overwhelming students. As well. We're going to analyse here as well, apparently, because just working out how the measure what each children has missed during the pandemic is tricky to let alone agreeing on the best way to address it and make sure they will all achieve their potential. Okay, let's leave that story there and move on to another story now, because I want to talk about Reading to Leeds to raise musical festival fans. Now, Reading and Leeds festival organisers have been appearing to have confirmed the events are going to be going ahead this summer after plans to ease lockdown have all been announced, apparently, but they're going to be under the government's plan limits on social contact in England. It's all going to be gone by the 21st of June, apparently, and if COVID is under control. Now, the Twin Festival is due to take place on the 27th to the 29th of August, and following the government's government's recent announcement, they can't wait to get back to the fields this summer. Reading and Leeds has said, let's go. A spokesman has said that there was currently no further comment. Stormzy Liam Gallagher, Queen of Stone Age have already been announced as headlines with Mabel A.G. Tracy and Doji Cat also on the lineup as well. Now, Glastonbury may be going ahead again this year as well, but the private confession comes as a month after Glastonbury, and it was all announced, and it will cancel its 2021 event. Now, last year, Reading and Leeds boss Melvin Benn told MPs his events could not go ahead while social distancing was in place, but of course this year they can go ahead. So, which is absolutely amazing. It's all going to be unclear that any such measures are all going to be put in place for this summer's event. and Reading and Leeds is regarded by many fans as second only to Glastonbury in the annual UK music calendar. Originally a rock festival, and it has also seen legendary performances by Never Oasis, Guns N' Roses, and Paramore as well. And more recently, it has embraced dance and hip hop with high-profile slots of the prodigy Kendrick Lamar and Post Malone. And this year, the festival is due to host about 200,000 fans at Richfield Venue in Reading and Raynham Park in Leeds, and it's all going to be with two man stages at each site. It is not clear though how Reading and Leeds has been able to finalise its plans, and less than 40